Hello students, welcome all of you to the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the next point of the first topic, introduction to micro and macroeconomics. And in that next part, we are going to discuss the features of macroeconomics and importance of macroeconomics. So let us start the points. First one, study of aggregates. Okay, what are the features of macroeconomics? The first point is study of aggregates. First of all, what is meant by this aggregate? Aggregate means total. In simple language, if you want to define, aggregate means total. So as we have already discussed, the macroeconomics is the study of the aggregate economy or the total economy. So in this macroeconomics, we study about the aggregates. Aggregates means the variables which are affecting the total economy or the national economy. That is the point we discuss in the macroeconomics. So what are these totals or what are these aggregates? For example, we can say that total income, total national income, or only national income. Okay, total output, then total investment, all these are such factors which affect the total national economy. That is why in the macroeconomics we discuss the total aggregates of points. Total national income. National income means we can say that GDP. GDP is the gross money value of all final goods and services produced in the country in 1 year. This is the factor which affect the national economy. That is why it is studied in the macroeconomics. Then total output, total investment, all these are the things which affect the national economy. That is why we study these things in the macroeconomics. Then second point is income theory. In microeconomics, we have learned one thing, that is price theory. Why we have learned call the microeconomics as the price theory? Because in microeconomics, we are basically concerned with the determination of the prices. But in macroeconomics, we are discussing the total national income of the country. What are the factors that determine the national income? How the national income is calculated? What is meant by social accounting? What are the factors that affect the national income? All these things we discuss in the macroeconomics. That is why it is called as the income theory. ओके क्योंकि जो मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है उसमें हम नेशनल इनकम किस तरह से डिटरमाइन होता है, उसमें फ्लक्चुएशंस क्यों होता है, इन सब चीजों के बारे में डिस्कशन करते हैं, इसीलिए उसको हम इनकम थ्योरी कहते हैं. इसके साथ साथ इन द मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स वी डिस्कस अबाउट द एग्रीगेट डिमांड एंड एग्रीगेट सप्लाई. Okay, aggregate demand and aggregate supply means total demand in the economy and total supply of the economy. All these things are also discussed in the macroeconomics. That is why it is considered as the income theory. Then the next point is general equilibrium analysis. What is meant by general equilibrium analysis? In microeconomics, we have discussed about the partial equilibrium. What is meant by partial? Partial means in parts. Okay, when we divide the economy into small parts and then discuss about that units, that is called as partial. Okay, in this macroeconomics we discuss about the general equilibrium. What is meant by the general equilibrium is that in this economics, in this macroeconomics we discuss about the total supply, total demand and general price level. General price level. Okay, now coming to the point, in microeconomics we have discussed about the individual supply, individual demand and individual price level. Okay, so in the microeconomics we have discussed about the partial equilibrium. Okay, but in macroeconomics we discuss about total supply, total demand and general price level. How the total supply is determined, how the total demand is determined, and according to that total demand and so total supply, how the general price level is determined. All these things we discuss in the macroeconomics. That is why this macroeconomics is called as the general equilibrium analysis. Okay, equilibrium means balance between these two forces. Okay, balance between demand and supply, that is the thing we known as the balance between two forces. Okay, so this general equilibrium is known as the macroeconomics. Okay, this is also a feature of macroeconomics. Then next one, interdependence. Okay, in microeconomics we have taken only the individual units. okay, and then studied in detail about that individual units, but we did not studied about the interdependence of the units. But in macroeconomics we are going to study the interdependence. What is meant by interdependence is that each and everything is dependent upon each and everything. Okay, what does this mean? All the things depends upon each other. If we want to take an example and see how this macroeconomics studies the interdependence, let us take an example. Investment. Okay, in macroeconomics we discuss about the total investment, the investment made by all the businessmen in the country. When that investment is made, that investment will affect the income. Okay, means when investment is made, the employment, it will also affect the employment. It will also affect the output. Then all other things are there. We can say that economic growth of the country. The investment affects the income, employment, output, growth of the country. So we can say that all these are the factors dependent on investment. Then we come to the income. When income is there, what will happen? Demand will be there. Okay, when the demand is there will be again investment, because the businessman tries to fulfill the wants of the people. Okay, when demand is high, then investment will be higher, then employment will be higher, again the growth and output of the country will be higher. So in macroeconomics, in simple language, if we want to define, we discuss about the interdependence of the macroeconomic variables. All these are the macroeconomic variables. Okay, मतलब क्या है इसका? macroeconomics में हम जो सारी चीजें हैं वो सारी चीजें एक दूसरे पे डिपेंडेंट होती है, इसके बारे में यहाँ पे डिस्कशन करते हैं. लेकिन माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में ऐसा नहीं था. माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में हम क्या करते थे? एक ही इंडिविजुअल को लेना है और एक ही इंडिविजुअल को पूरी तरह से स्टडी करना है. लेकिन मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में ऐसा नहीं होता है. पूरी सारी जो चीजें हैं वो एक दूसरे पे डिपेंडेंट रहती है. माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में हम आइसोलेट करते थे, मतलब अलग करके लेते थे. यहाँ पे ऐसे अलग करके नहीं लिया जाता. एग्रीगेट की स्टडी की जाती है, एक ही साथ स्टडी की जाती है, उसको कहते हैं इंटरडिपेंडेंस. देन नेक्स्ट वन, lumping method. Lumps, here the word is important. Lumps. Okay, lumps means total. We can say that total. In microeconomics we have studied one method that is known as slicing method. Microeconomics में हमने ये method study की थी. Okay, slicing method. What is meant by slicing? Slicing means dividing the economy into small parts and then studying in detail about that particular thing. Okay, but in macroeconomics we do not study the slicing method. Means we do not divide the economy into small parts, but we directly study about the total economy, that is total parts of the economy, total income, total investment, total consumption, total employment. All these are the factors which are studied in the macroeconomics. That is why it is called as the lumping method. If we want to take one example, we can take the example of forest and tree. Okay, we can say that this forest is an aggregation of trees. Okay, means when we combine all these trees in the particular forest, it becomes the forest. Okay, but if you want to define the difference between micro and macroeconomics, in microeconomics we study about the trees, but in macroeconomics we study about the forest. Okay, so we can say that in macroeconomics we study about the aggregates. We combine all the things together and then study. But in microeconomics we divide the economy, that is lumping, that is slicing method, and then study about that. So the study of one tree will be calculated in the microeconomics, and the study of the total forest will be calculated in the macroeconomics. So this is also a feature of macroeconomics, that is lumping method. Then next point is growth models. I will erase that. What is meant by growth models is that this macroeconomics analyzes various factors which contributes to economic growth and development of the country. Okay, how the growth and development of the country must be done, what are the features of the economy, and how we can achieve the growth and development, that is the subject matter of macroeconomics. So various growth models in this economics we study. Okay, ये जो macroeconomics है उसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे growth models है जिनके बारे में study की जाती है. Okay, first for example we can take in 1947 when India got independence, and in 1951 we have started the planning. Okay, 1951 to 55 was the 56 was the first plan. Okay, and then 1956 to 1961 was the second plan. In that second plan, the strategy of the plan was based on Mahalanobis model. Okay, Mahalanobis model it is called as, and that model was concerned about the total we can say that टोटल जो बिग इंडस्ट्रीज होती है उनके बारे में वहां पे स्टडी की जाती थी. सो दिस मॉडल वाज फोकसिंग ऑन द बिग इंडस्ट्रीज इन द इकोनॉमी, एंड आवर सेकंड प्लान वाज डिपेंडेंट ऑन दिस ग्रोथ मॉडल which was given by the Mahalanobis. Then apart from Mahalanobis there are multiple models which we study in the macroeconomics. So we can say that in macroeconomics growth models are also studied. Next one, general price level. Okay, in microeconomics we have studied about the prices of individual commodities. Okay, but in macroeconomics we do not study about the prices of individual commodities or individual goods and services, but in macroeconomics we study about the prices of total the goods and services produced in the country. That is called as general price level. If we want to define the general price level, it is an aggregate it is an average of the prices of all goods and services produced in the country in a period of 1 year. मतलब हमारे देश में एक साल में जितनी सारी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस हुई हैं उसका एवरेज अगर हम लेंगे तो उसको हम क्या कहेंगे, उसको हम कहेंगे जनरल प्राइस लेवल, एंड दैट जनरल प्राइस लेवल इज डिस्कस्ड इन द मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो ए फीचर ऑफ मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. देन नेक्स्ट वन एंड लास्ट वन, पॉलिसी ओरिएंटेड. व्हाट इज मीन बाय पॉलिसी? देर आर वेरियस पॉलिसीज नीडेड. ओके, जो केन्स है उन्होंने कहा था अकॉर्डिंग टू केन्स मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स इज ए पॉलिसी ओरिएंटेड साइंस. ओके, व्हाट डज दिस मीन? मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स इज ए पॉलिसी ओरिएंटेड साइंस. इन मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स वी डिस्कस अबाउट द policies of the growth and development of the country, how to achieve the growth and development, how to reduce the unemployment, how to reduce the poverty. All these are the strategies or the policies which are framed based on the models given in the macroeconomics. So this macroeconomics helps the country to make the policies. That is why this macroeconomics is called as the policy oriented science. Okay, there are various policies which are done according to the studies of macroeconomics. So these are the features of macroeconomics given. In the next lecture we will discuss the importance of macroeconomics. In this lecture we will stop here. Thank you.